Okay, so this is the original document, and then this is my attempt to generate an audio overview or podcast based on the document using Gemini AI. But unfortunately, even today, Gemini can only generate audio overview or podcast in the English language. Take a listen.
Start with the scale we're all familiar.
You just run back propagation through the core argument in the paper we're looking at today. Inject these.
Okay, it is not a bad podcast, but it is just not in the language that I want. So, is it possible to generate podcast that is faithful to the original language of the documents or content that you have provided? Well, the answer is yes. In fact, there are two ways you can do it. You can use the Gemini TTS. This is one
意味する
example.
ロラーについて深掘りしていきたいと思います。ゲストには AI 研究員
And this is another method by using the NotebookLM platform. Take a listen.
資料をもとに深掘りしていきたいと思います。GPT-3 みたいな競売
Okay, so let me show you how you can generate a language appropriate podcast or audio overview using Gemini or some form of Gemini technology. So again, there are two methods. So let's talk about the NotebookLM method first. Let's open NotebookLM, and I'm using the desktop web version, but you can also use the mobile version of this platform. It is also support multiple languages. Okay, now I'm going to start a new notebook. So I'm going to click this button and I'll just upload a document by dragging and dropping it. So this document is also in Japanese, but the topic is different. Now, just wait until the document is processed. So here in NotebookLM, it's not really about the content of the language. The language of the content. Sorry about that. So it's not about the language of the content. It is more about what settings that you use in your account. Now here, if you're using, let's say, the Japanese language, but if your setting stays in English, then the audio overview will also be in English. So before you create an audio overview or podcast, you have to click settings, go to output language, and then select the target language, which in this case, Japanese. Let me just select this, save, and you can click audio overview, or you can click this pencil icon to customize a few settings. Like I will select shorter length. I can also select different styles, but let me just try using the classic deep dive and click generate. So just wait for several minutes for AI to turn the documents that you have provided into an audio overview. Now, how about using Gemini? Isn't that impossible, at least right now, to generate an audio overview using a different language other than English? Well, that's true, but we can also use the canvas feature on Gemini to utilize the Gemini TTS feature. So it's kind of complicated, but it's actually very easy. Now, let me just open Gemini, and I'm using the desktop web version again, but again, you can use the mobile version of Gemini on your phone. And after that, you can upload the document. This is the same document. And this is the prompt that you can use. You can find this prompt in the description down below. Down here, I'll just paste it, click tools, click canvas, and then I'll select the pro version because after all we want to code, submit, and just wait for Gemini to analyze the document. It will create essentially an app, and it will utilize the built-in Gemini text-to-speech tool, and it can generate a podcast basically in this manner. So it is essentially going to create speech based on each dialogue, and it will combine every single audio file into one singular audio file, which is the audio overview or podcast. So now this process will take several minutes, and I guess I'll just skip over and I'll show you the next step or the next things that you can do. Okay, so this is the result. It took a bit longer than I expected, but it's finally done. Now, this is actually a different prompt. I don't know why, but my previous prompt doesn't really work consistently, so I updated the prompt, and this is the new one that I use. And don't worry, I'm going to provide this new prompt in the description of the video. So let's take a listen of this Gemini TTS version.
解説するときに重み、ウェイトという言葉を本当によく聞きます。これって AI においてどういう役割を持つものでしょうか？
はい、 重みですね。
Okay, so basically as you can see, it is just a different dialogues stitched together, and you can click the download button to get the full audio or the full podcast of this content. Now let's go back to NotebookLM and let's take a listen of this version.
さて、今回のテーマなんですが、AI の重み、英語で言うウェイトですね。あなたが共有してくれた資料をもとに AI の知能の源泉ともいえるこの概念を掘り下げていきましょう。AI が賢くなる上で欠かせないこの
重要度を示す数値ということになります。
重要度。
Okay, now if you want to download this, you can click this three dot icon and then click download to get the audio file to your device. So yeah, I guess these are the two methods that you can try to generate podcast based on the language that you just have, or the language that you want from your documents or from your notes, articles, blog posts, etc. And again, the full prompt is going to be available in the description of this video. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you on my next video. Have a great day.